Hello everyone and welcome to episode 22 of the Nekozuki Knits podcast. My name is Katie, also known as Nekozuki Knits on all social media actually now. And so you can find me on Instagram, Ravelry, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and Goodreads, all under Nekozuki Knits. Tumblr is a lot of reblogging, and Facebook and Twitter is exclusively shares of my Instagram photos. And Facebook is heavily Instagram photo sharing as well, although I do a lot more text posts there. So anyway, welcome to any new viewers and all returning viewers. I have noticed that we've had more subscribers here in the last week, and I really appreciate everyone who's coming to check me out again. Or that has subscribed in the last week. It's been fantastic. So this is going to be the start of hopefully something new. Fingers crossed. I want to start recording the podcast every week instead of bi-weekly. Generally I have tried to keep it to a Saturday to Saturday schedule, but that just, for some reason, I have lost the motivation for that. So what I'm going to try doing is a Monday, Tuesday recording. Tuesdays and Tuesdays are probably going to be the easiest since that's the day that Dallas flies in and out. Although the week that he's gone, I might record on Monday. Just as I start to get everything figured out. So we'll see how that goes. Today is Wednesday, February 3rd. Yes, it's Wednesday. So obviously I'm completely off this week, but it might still be that. It will be between, when Dallas is gone, it'll be Tuesday or Wednesday probably. And when he is home, it'll be, well, I'll try not to record when he's home. That's the whole point. It's really awkward to talk to a camera when someone else is in the house. Or maybe I'll send him off for lunch with a friend or something. Which would be good as well. So I have actually been working on quite a bit this week. My friend just had a little baby boy, so I'm working on a couple items for her. And I'm just looking over my notes here. That's why I keep looking down. So what I'm actually working on right now, what I'm actually knitting and my cat Dahlia is trying to attack, is a pair of socks by, they're just plain vanilla socks. They're very white right now because they are Hudson Bay inspired. The yarn is Fishnets Yarn Strong Heart 2-ply sock, and it is in the Canadiana colorway. Typical US 1, 2.25 millimeters, and I used the Fish Lips Kiss Heel for the first time. Hi! We have a special visitor apparently. Yay, she's purring too. Anyway, well, that was a bit of a surprise. I'm gonna move my notes out of the way so she can stay and I can still talk because I know most of this. She's mostly just trying to eat my yarn. Anyway, so it's Fishnets Canadiana. And that's what it looks like. I'm really excited to get into the stripes here because white is very boring to knit for a full sock, even for me. I actually have more of this for Dallas. And I'm going to have to do a pattern or something because I don't want to knit two socks the exact same. And this is something that I'll talk about a little bit later, but it is a new product that I'm currently prototyping for the shop. Anyway, so I've had that. Okay, she's gone now. Sorry. I've had that yarn in my stash for about 2 years now. I think I went back and looked. It's 2 or 3 years. It would have been 3 years this summer, I think. That sounds about right. So I am still mostly sticking to my I need to use stash, prerogative, I guess. I don't know. The other thing I'm working on, also out of stash, is a newborn raglan. So I started this before I knew what my friend was having, but obviously very good for a little boy. Just basically cast on the top and then it's garter stitch because I didn't feel like doing stockinette. Haven't decided yet if that's going to be the front or if this is going to be the front, what's facing out. But anyway, I'm actually really happy with how it's coming out. I'm just doing little short sleeves because he was just born, so he's not going to be able to wear this long, but it will be perfect for this next few months when he needs a little bit something when he's staying inside. And I have one sleeve to finish, and then I'm going to pick up and do a button band around, and then maybe a garter stitch shawl collar. I haven't decided about that yet either. So I'm making that, and then the other thing I'm working on is a vivid blanket, also for him, because now I know his sex, so I was able to go get the colors. And so this is the second square. The first square I finished yesterday, so I knit I knit all of that and this one yesterday, so I got 2 squares out in about 3 to 4 hours. 2 squares, so about an hour and a half to 2 hours each. That's actually showing up really nice and true to color. It's a very nice golden honey color. Obviously these are unblocked. I'm sorry, the newborn raglan is on US for 3.5mm needles, and the vivid blanket squares are being knit on US 9 5.5mm needles, which is what's suggested in the vivid pattern by Tin Can Knits. And it's being knit out of, the vivid blanket is being knit out of Diamond Luxury Collection Pure Wool Superwash. The newborn raglan is being knit out of Schopel Wool Zauberball, which is something that I'd had in my stash. This is new. I went and got this yesterday. So I have 4 colors. I have the blue, the green, the red, and the gold. Let's see. There you go. So you can kind of see how it's going to go. And I'm going to do a different layout. I'm not going to do a set number of squares. Actually, the most is going to be in the blue, and then the red, gold, and green are going to be an accent color. I'm using about 28 grams per square. So I won't be able to get a full 4 squares out of each ball. But that's okay. It won't leave me with that much left over from the other ball. I can make him a little like sweater or something and stash it for his birthday or whatever, Christmas. Sorry, I just lost my notes. So I'm working on those. And then I don't have any FOs, unless you count that blanket square, which I kind of do, but not really. Next week I should have a few more things done, actually. I have been reading a lot. So I finished the Madman's Daughter trilogy. Oh, actually, no, there's more knitting. I did swatch for the Ginny cardigan. So I've had this magazine since it was published 2013, so I've had that for 3 years for sure. And so I finally swatched to knit this out of Sweet Georgia. I don't have the swatch, I ripped it out because I was bad and I didn't block it or anything like that. I just guessed at it because the sweater is going to be a couple inches larger than my bust anyway. So if I'm a couple stitches off, I'm not too worried. And it's going to be out of superwash, and superwash is notorious for stretching. So I'm super excited for that. So that's the Ginny cardigan by Mari Chiba. And now I'll go into reading. So I finished the Madman's Daughter trilogy. So I finished Her Dark Curiosity and A Cold Legacy, both by Megan Shepherd. Basically a rewrite of Jekyll and Hyde, and then a rewrite of Frankenstein. Both really interesting. I think these might be even stronger than her first, although her first was amazingly written. So I highly recommend it. Definitely a older teen novels. It has quite a bit of grit that I wouldn't suggest for younger children. And then I read also Aya and Aya of Yop City. Both graphic novels. About a woman in, I believe it's on the Ivory Coast. I think it's Ivory Coast. Sorry, I'm just trying to flip to the forward. Yes, Ivory Coast. There we go. And they're both by Marguerite Abo and Clément Aubrier. They are translations. I've only read the first 2. There are 3 in this first set, and then there's 4 to 6, which I haven't read yet. I have to get them all at the library. But really enjoyed this. Again, adult graphic novels probably more than young children, at least high school reading. And then I also read, oh yeah, it's in my lap, The Earl and the Fairy, which is a manga published by Shoujo Beat by Ayuko. Original concept by Mizui Tani. And that's really good. And I actually have, there's only 4 volumes in the series, so I'm currently have on my stairs 2 to 4, which I just picked up from the library today. And then, oh yeah, so I also finished Astray by Emma Donoghue, which is a set of short stories, definitely adult fiction, and Canadian author from Dublin. She's really good. I really enjoyed them. Nice little bite-sized things, and they're all based on true life things like that she's found in archives and such. And so I'd gotten a couple other of her books out of the library, and the other one that I have right now that I'm reading is Frog Music by her, Emma Donoghue, and really enjoying it too. Again, adult fiction and only adult fiction. Basically about Can Girl who, what is it? So it's 1876 in San Francisco, and Blanche is an exotic dancer at the House of Mirrors. And she's living there with her lover Ernest and his companion, her lover Arthur and his companion Ernest. And it goes through a whole bunch of basically her adventure. I haven't finished it yet, but I am enjoying it. Let's see here. So I do have some shop news because I got a few bags done that I wasn't able to talk about last week, and I will save that for the end. And then there's just miscellaneous. Okay, so the last time we chatted was just after New Year's. Well, I guess late in January. So January's gone now. It's early February, which is unbelievable. We've had a Chinook come through that's melted most of our snow, although it has cooled down again now. And pretty much nothing else super exciting has happened, although we are getting prepped for Japan, which is super exciting. I don't know why I said we don't have anything exciting going on. So we actually went and purchased our JR passes a week ago, and when Dallas was in town, and we got all our maps and information, because although I have been, Dallas has never been, and there's stuff I never saw even when I was there or knew that I would be interested in when I was there, because I didn't actually end up, I was thinking about this the other day, I ended up not doing a lot of research before I went to Japan. I knew I wanted to see some of these big sites, but a lot of it actually came up when I was there. But so these are going to help quite a bit. So we got a map for Kyoto Nara, a kind of booklet for Osaka. And I love the tagline, fun, tasty, and friendly. I thought it was exciting, but I love that. Tokyo is really good because I don't know much about Tokyo. And then for Dallas, there was this, your guide to Japan. It's just pretty, so whatever. So I used to live between Osaka and Kyoto. So basically I was about halfway between these two, Osaka and Kyoto. It's about an hour either way, and that's where we're staying, is here at Kadashi, which is where Kansai Gaidai is. And there's lots of international students that have gone to Kansai Gaidai. It was actually kind of funny when I was there. I ran into a girl when I was in Singapore who had originally studied at Kansai Gaidai 12 years earlier. So that was really cool. And so we're getting really excited. We got our rail passes. The only thing we really have to do while we're still here in Canada is go exchange to some yen. And really there's nothing else we can do before we go. We've got our Ghibli tickets. We got geisha dance tickets, or geiko, because they are actually in Kyoto. Yeah, and I'm just plotting out routes so that I don't have to do very much research when I'm there, like train routes and stuff like that, so that we can get places. The JR pass is a little bit limiting in that we have to use it on JR lines, but that's why I'm doing a lot of research for Tokyo before we go, so that we can get onto just JR lines as much as possible, so we don't have to pay for transit, because the JR pass Basically what it's done is it's paid for both our Shinkansen trips that we're taking. We're taking 3, but it covers the first 2. And then when we're in Kansai or Kyoto, Osaka area, we're just going to use the Keihan lines and such because that's what I'm used to using. And so we're going to just get different through passes for then. Not quite as good a deal, but better than like paying for fare every time we get off the trains, basically. What else have we done? I have been going swimming lots, which is really good. I'm trying to get into healthier habits, and that's one of them, is making sure that I'm actually getting good cardio. Something threw me for a loop right at the end of the year, as I think I mentioned last time, and I'm actually recovering now, which is really nice. February is usually a funk month, but I think that I might have hit in January. So I'm really glad that I'm coming out of that. Dallas has kind of been hit by it too. We're both, I don't know. I think it's just cold and we don't have the windows open enough or something. But yeah, I'm really glad that it seems to have lightened a bit and we can kind of move forward. So, that's pretty much it. Like, that's the one thing about recording every week instead of every 2 weeks, is that the episodes are going to be, well, this second week episode will hopefully be shorter, around the 20 to 30 minute mark, depending on how much we've done. Obviously, after Japan, there's going to be a few episodes that are longer as I chat about it. And not every week is going to have shop news. Like this second week recording will probably most likely not have a lot of shop news because it's going to be so soon after Dallas has left. And to be honest, I don't work on shop stuff when he's home. Mostly I work on knitting designs. Which, in good news, I do have a bunch to go out to a tech editor, and those will be going out this week for her. And then hopefully I'll have them to be tested right before we go to Japan, and they'll be posted in March. Or they'll be posted in March and they'll be up for test editing after the tech editor. I'm not quite sure how this is going to go down yet, but they are going to be available soon. That's as much as I can promise right now, to be honest. And I am working on a few other designs as well, and there's a few submissions that I would like to make too that are coming up here in mid-February too. So, really, if you're here for the knitting and the little bit of chatter that we've had this week, that's all. I'm going to chat a little bit more about shop news. Otherwise, I will talk to you next week. Next recording should be Tuesday. And it should be posted by that afternoon or so. Either, Monday or Tuesday. So look for it Tuesday afternoon. I will make an announcement on the Ravelry group if I don't end up actually getting it posted. So if you want news and updates about any pattern shop updates, podcast, miscellaneous, I'd love to have a little bit more chatter in the group. Come over and join the Ravelry group. Again, you can find me on Instagram and all other social media platforms as Nekozuki Knits, and Etsy as well as Nekozuki Knits, which is what all of these bags are going to be posted on. So, I did get a few extra done. I got some pirate treasure chests done, and I really like the inside of these bags. Yeah! And then I got pirate ships on teal tabs as well. And I'm pretty sure they have the same, they've got the same lining. Now, I did want to mention, and I have started photographing them as such, but with any of my wedge bags, you can actually, like if you're worried about the yarn getting caught in the zipper as you're knitting and stuff like that, any of my bags can be turned over to be used more like a basket or a bucket. Either way, yarn bucket, yarn basket, whichever you prefer. And they are sturdy enough that they will stand up on their own. And then feathers. I love this print. And there's only one of these available. And I lined it in a neutral gray. Small wedge. And then these are unique, so they are a little bit more expensive. But patchwork bags. And so they're essentially the same size as my large wedge, although they are 2 inches less wide. So not quite as wide, but essentially the same. A lot more work though. And then the bottom. And these are going to be also lined in something that basically matches the outside. So bright green polka dots. And there's this one. This one I tried to do a little bit more of a pattern in my patches, but it didn't really work out. I believe this one's also, yeah, bright green polka dots. Large wedge. Pirate ships with the same lining as the small wedge bags. Right there. And that just totally threw off my white balance. But there's only one more bag to show. So, there we go. Fixed. Yay! This is a new prototype. And this will be a new product that will be offered probably beginning... I gotta figure out when I'm closing the shop for us to go to Japan. We are going mid-March. So these will debut at the end of February, I think. I have it out to a product tester right now, just to make sure that it holds up and everything like that. But what it is it's a wedge bag out of vinyl instead of fabric, so you can actually see your project in there. And there's a few, this is a prototype, so there are a few things that I'm going to fix. Anything else that I'm making is going to have a tab, like all my other wedge bags, so that you can actually hook this to something. Because right now that's my biggest annoyance, is I have to carry it under my arm or something, and really it doesn't work very well. But it's got a wide open zipper as well, so you can open this all the way. The vinyl is very sturdy, so it's able to stand up. Again, you can see your projects, and this will actually hold a notebook too. It is a little bit taller than my normal wedge, but it's actually quite nice. I like it. You can store everything in there like normal. I've got a notions pouch in there. I had 4 or 5 projects in here the other day. 3. 2 DK and this sock project. So yeah, and then this notions pouch in there too. So these will be going up. I'm going to try a box bag, but the box bag is going to take different tweaking, so it's going to take longer. The wedge bags will be available sooner, and that's what will be available at the end of February. I am this week going to be trying to make a large wedge bag and see how that works. But I really like it. I think it's really cute. I love the fact that you can see your knitting. It encourages questions from people as well, because it can see what you're carrying in your bag instead of the fabrics. Although I still love my fabrics, so these are not going to replace my normal offerings with the Japanese fabrics. But the nice thing is that my small amounts of fabric that I have left now, I can use towards those instead of just notions pouches and needle stashers. So these are going to be an addition that I make within the next month, in a few weeks. And look for them on the Etsy shop. I will chat about them more once they actually become available. But I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, they are a pain to ship. I've already figured that out. Although it won't affect my shipping costs. They're the same as if I was shipping you a fabric bag. And there's a couple things I definitely have to tweak on it before I actually offer these up, but not too much. So I'm quite happy with it. I love this fabric. This is one of the fabrics that I got when I made my first bag, which was a disaster, but I still use it because it's still usable. It's just a disaster. So yeah, anyway, I hope you guys all have a good week. I will chat to you here in a few days instead of a couple weeks, and until then, happy crafting. Bye.